Real Madrid won, Manchester City won. That is exactly what I'm talking about in a Champions League match, man. Exactly what I'm after. Beautiful, beautiful football, man. And brilliant, brilliant from both sides. And it ends up in a draw, all square, heading back to Etihad. And I think that makes Man City favourites, to be honest. I think that has to make Man City favourites. It was a brilliant game. Genuinely really good. Two top quality sides, man. Two sides that, to be honest, are probably, let's be real, whoever wins this is probably going to win the Champions League. They're that good. But I'm really looking at this as a game that both sides, who's happy? I think overall Man City have to be happier, right? They have to be, given the fact that it's 1-1, is heading back to their home. They've got a second leg at their place. 1-1 overall. It's a game that Man City largely dominated. And to be fair, it kind of went how I expected. I expected Man City to dominate this game. They're the better football team. I said that from before. But what Real Madrid have is they have killers, man. And they never, ever, ever quit. And they never think the game's out of sight. And they never panic. Because a lot of teams in that first 5, 10, 15 minutes would have folded with Man City's pressure. Because they were relentless, Man City. I don't think Madrid left their half for the first 15 minutes. Genuinely, it was all Man City, pressure after pressure after pressure. Wave after wave of attack. But they stayed in the game, Real Madrid. And when the chance came, Vinicius Jr. There's a reason I've got the Brazil top on, boys and girls, man. Because this Brazilian boys there, Rodrigo and Vinicius, they are killers, man. At their young age, they are cold-blooded killers. They know exactly what to do on the biggest stage. And Vinicius stood up and was counting today, man. What a goal. And that was the first time I've seen Man City go 1-0 down in a long time, you know. But to be fair, they responded well. They responded very, very well. But Vinicius, that's a massive goal from you, my man. Massive, massive goal to get Real Madrid on the score sheet. Because at that time, Man City's pressure were building and the walls were caving in on Real Madrid. They were not leaving their half. I think the stats was like 30% possession, Real Madrid in comparison, man. But the thing is, right, Man City now take this game back to Etihad. And you could tell Man City were happy with the 1-1. Genuinely, they were very happy with the 1-1. And I would be too. I said before, I said, even if Man City lost this game 1-0, that's still not a bad result for Man City. Because now when they go back to the Etihad, right, that's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game, man. The Bernabeu does crazy things to you. It's got that Anfield effect at times where it could just throw you off mentally. They wouldn't have that problem at the Etihad, man. I think this puts Man City in the driving seat for this tie. I think Real Madrid, you can never count them out. And if they get a goal at the Etihad, anything can happen. But I think overall, Man City will be very delighted with the way this game turned out. Very, very delighted because they proved they're the better football team. I'd say in the first half, they proved that. Equally, at the same time, they came out of a draw because it could have gone left. When Vinicius scored that first goal, for the first 15, 20 minutes of that second half, it was Real Madrid after Real Madrid after Real Madrid attack, man. You saw Modric and Kroos get on the football. And suddenly you're thinking, ooh, this could go very, very pear-shaped, man. Like, when I saw the two ball players, Kroos and Modric, start to pick up the football and start to dictate tempo, that's what I'm looking at and thinking, this game is really going to favour Real Madrid. But they stayed in the tie, Man City, at that point. And then they got their big play to stand up and was counted. I spoke about how, for me, Haaland's the X factor, right? Haaland's that extra player for Man City. He's that difference to Gabriel Jesus in the past that can get you a goal out of nowhere. But the real man that stood up today was Kevin De Bruyne. KDB stood up and was counted today, man. What a strike. What a goal. 2 brilliant strikes, by the way. 2 brilliant goals. But that, what a strike from Kevin De Bruyne, man. Rasped it with his right foot. Not a keeper on planet Earth saves that, man. Not one keeper. I'm going to get into your comments, by the way, in a second. I'm just going to run through the game quickly. Make sure you leave your comments. Anyone that's new on here as well, make sure you subscribe. 98 people watching right now for football-related content. I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 p.m. for AC Milan versus Inter Milan reaction. Those of you have been around here before know I am Mr. Consistent. Football reactions basically every day. But yeah, Real Madrid, the thing is, right, I'm looking at it from their perspective and I'm thinking they can get something here because Man City obviously brought in Kyle Walker because we know of his pace. He's going to be able to adapt with Vinicius Jr. But Vinicius Jr. had a field day, man. Vinicius Jr. had a complete field day. He was running him ragged. Like, Kyle Walker could not keep up. The little touches, man. The touches around the corner. Even at the end, the rainbow flick. Like, come on, bro. Like, is this real life I'm watching? Like, is Vinicius Jr. just not like a Neymar reincarnation? I've got a Brazil top on for a reason. It's Joga Bonito out here with him, man. Him and Rodrigo either side. They're very young men. Of course they are. But they're turning into match winners, bro. They're turning into killers. Because that goal was absolutely massive from him. And look, I counted Madrid out when I did my predictions. I said Man City out. I favour them. To be fair, my prediction, I said 2-2 for this game. But one thing you can never count out, yeah? There's 14 on this sleeve for a reason. There's a 14 Champions Leagues on that sleeve for one particular reason. Because these lot are killers, man. This is their competition. Champions League runs through Real Madrid's veins. It's in their DNA. You don't mention Champions League without mentioning Real Madrid. This is their competition. So don't ever count them out. Although, in my opinion, the draw does favour Man City and it puts them in the driving seat going into the second leg at the Etihad. I will never, ever count out Real Madrid. Not one bit. because this team has proven time and time again they can get results. They can pull it out the bag. So all I'm saying is it was a brilliant first leg. Let's see what happens in the second leg, man. I cannot wait for it. Let's get into your comments. Luke, Man City is happy with this result because now they're going back at the Etihad and ties 1-1. 100% agree, man. Would not have said it better myself. 100% agree. Kevin De Bruyne is amazing. What a goal by him. There we go. Look, in the big games, big players need to stand up and be counted, man. I've been critical of certain players not standing up at the right time, but what a big game, man. What a big game it was for Kevin De Bruyne. He stood up when that team was struggling because when he got that goal, that was a period when actually Real Madrid took ascendancy. I think the first 30 minutes was all Man City. I think we can all agree that in the first 30 minutes, Man City dominated. Like, Real Madrid barely touched the football. They were not leaving their half. And I was sitting there thinking, boy, this is exactly what I've come to expect from Man City. Dominating the football and not letting Real Madrid sniff it. But in that second half, they were already 1-0 up and they started to take ascendancy. There was corners in a row, chances. But right at that time, when you need big players to stand up and be counted. Just like Odegaard for Arsenal yesterday, man. When Newcastle were on Arsenal, had Arsenal by the neck, Odegaard scored a big goal. Big goal and silenced the crowd a little bit. That was De Bruyne today, man. Big goal on his right foot. And to be fair, look, for all the possession Man City had, they had chances, but they didn't have any clear-cut chances. Like, the only way they were going to score today was with De Bruyne scoring a wonder strike from outside the box. They didn't really cut Real Madrid open like that. So for him to score that, brilliant goal, man, and a brilliant play as well. I got my prediction right. You did indeed, man. In my predictions stream before, you did say 1-1. I said 2-2 personally. So yeah, 1-1. Congratulations, Luke, for that. Brilliant. All Man City in the first half except for the Vinicius goal. Yes, exactly. And that's how I expected the game to go. I said Man City are the better football team. They're gonna dominate the football, but you can never count out Real Madrid. Never ever count them out because something crazy happens with this football team, man. Like, when you've been in the Champions League season after season, when you've won it 14 times, I've said it before, 14 times right here, man, it's because it runs through their veins. They walk into the building with an aura. When it's Champions League nights, they're built and bred for it, this Real Madrid team. They know exactly what they're doing. From minute 1 to 90, they've been through that. They've got a mix of experience in Modric and Kroos, man, been around the block, you know what I mean? Veteran leadership, alongside the young, boisterous, exuberant wingers in Rodrigo and, of course, Vinicius. And then you've got the striker, the talisman up front, Benzema, who, by the way, I thought Benzema had a very quiet game today. But you know he's always going to turn up, always going to be a factor in this match. I expect him to have a massive role in the second leg at the Etihad. But overall, big game. And it showed a lot, to be fair. I think Man City, I will be the happier side. Let me know in the live chat who you believe is going to go through. I still believe my prediction, Man City, going to go through. But one thing's for sure, you cannot count out Real Madrid. Because in that first 25 minutes, I was sitting there thinking, oh, this could be a very long day for Real Madrid, man. Very, very long day. But they kept at it. And they played very well, Real Madrid, man. Because it's hard to keep up with Man City. When they pass, man, left, right, and they just recycle possession, and you've got 30% possession in front of your home fans, it can be very hard to keep up. It's not only is it physically draining chasing the ball, it's mentally draining as well. But one thing about Real Madrid is, right, they're adaptable. They can play with 70% possession. They can play with 20% possession. They can play with either facet of their game. They were comfortable letting Man City have the ball today. They weren't chasing it. They weren't sitting there thinking, oh, we need to get the ball back quickly. They were comfortable. Let them have the ball, because when we have our ball, that's when we're going to attack. That's when we're going to take advantage. Real Madrid were very clinical in the counter-attack today. There wasn't a lot of passes, but as soon as they got the ball, bang, out wide to Vinicius, bang, out wide to Rodrigo, let them cook. And I think that was the right game plan, to be honest, the right game plan. So if I am Man City, I think I'm happy going back to the Etihad. Also, I've got to be aware of Vinicius and Rodrigo on the counter-attack. But at the same time, right, Real Madrid, you got to also, I think, you can't lose your heads as much. I will say this because it's not, I don't associate Man City with a team that loses their heads, but at times they were calling for penalties after every little thing. Like, I think they called for penalties about 6-7 times when the ball didn't even touch anyone's hand. Like, it touches their thigh, their hands like this. Like, come on, man, don't lose your heads. Keep going, keep persevering, because when they conceded their goal, arguably was when they're at their best. And it was the same for Man City, to be fair. Both sides that conceded arguably against the run of play. So it just goes to show, don't lose your heads in the key moment, man. Keep in the game. I think Man City were happy with the draw because it showed because when they went to attack on the counter-attack towards the end of the game, they didn't even commit any bodies forward. They were like, you know what? We're happy taking a 1-1 back. I think they learned their lesson. And I think the fact that it's going back to the Etihad now, make it basically a one leg at the Etihad, puts it in Man City's hands, but never count out Real Madrid, bro. Never count them out. Monsieur Arteta, stupid game. Who plays for a 1-1 draw? Let's hope Madrid take the lead. Bro, come on, man. Go on. Look, it's a two-legged tie for a reason. The Champions League is a marathon, not a sprint. On my prediction before, I said to Man City, yeah, don't go chasing this game. Even at 1-0, I tweeted out. I said to my friends at 1-0, don't chase the game, Man City. Don't. 1-0 is not a bad result. It's not a terrible result whatsoever. Even if you lose 1-0, you can't chase this game, because if it becomes 2-0, 3-0 Real Madrid, then you've got a problem. But at 1-0, you're still in the game. If not even you're in the game, you're big time in the game, because taking it back to Etihad, that's a completely different football match. They stuck to their game plan. They didn't abandon plan A when Real Madrid scored and Real Madrid had a bit of pressure on them. That's a sign of a good team. A good team doesn't change their game plan. They know even if they're 1-0 down, 2-0 up, you play the same way. We played getting to this position. We're going to continue playing this way. And that was Man City, getting on the football and recycling it. The Pep Guardiola philosophy of football. And when they lost the ball, they chased it down. They won it back instantly. That's how you got to play football. Pep Guardiola is a student of the game, man. He knows when you lose the ball, you got to win it back instantly. A, because that's when the opponent's most vulnerable. And B, think about it. If you're chasing the ball for 30, 45 seconds and you win it back, then lose it back instantly, that's mentally and psychologically very draining, because you've been chasing the ball. You just won it back. Then you lost it again. Do you get what I mean? And I think that was Man City's game plan, to suffocate the ball early. But the thing about Real Madrid is that doesn't work on them, because they know better. Against Arsenal, it works, because that's a naive team. That's an innocent team. They get a bit worried. They start to chase the ball, chase it left, chase it right, and they get undone, unpicked. You just pick that lock. But against Real Madrid, they're better than that. There's veterans. There's Cruz. There's leadership. There's Modric in the team. There's Karim Benzema. There are players that know how to navigate any sort of situation. They've been there. They've done that before. Same you. All the Man City pressure is calm. It's calm. We just let them attack us. Let them attack us. It's a 90-minute football match. We're going to have our chances. And exactly what Real Madrid did is they scored their chances on the counter-attack. So commend them for that. Brilliant, man. I will not consider that as City dominating. Madrid had many more chances. Look, Jeff, you're 100% right, yeah? And if you look at the stats, you won't see it. But for someone from watching the game, from a footballing standpoint, you could tell Man City were the better team. You could tell, man, 100%. But never count out Real Madrid. And that's the thing about Real Madrid. They're adaptable, right? I'll never ever see Man City play a game with 25% possession. Never in my life. But I can see Real Madrid doing it, because Real Madrid know they can play possession, and also they can play killer instinct mentality. They can play a game where bang out to Vinicius, bang out to Rodrigo, let them cook. And it would have been Kyle Walker. It could have been Dani Alves. No one stopping Vinicius at this time, bro. The man was just liquid. Every time he touched the ball, gold. It was like gold, bro. And that was their game plan. And that's why I think it suits Real Madrid, because you're not going to outplay Man City. Man City, the best team on planet Earth, in my opinion, in terms of footballing ability. Arsenal tried it. They got bopped out the park. So Real Madrid know they're not going to beat Man City in a football game. But they can beat Man City in playing smarter and using the leaders in their team and using the wise old men in Cruz and Modric and knowing, picking their time when to attack and attacking in moments and being clinical. It's a game of fine margins. Look, possession, shots on target, XG does not matter one bit. The only thing that matters is the score on the top left. And although Real Madrid didn't win this game, I think both teams will be happy, because Real Madrid know in that first 25 minutes that could have been a very different football game. Very, very different football game, man. But look, it's a really good sign for them, because they take the 1-1 back to Etihad, and Real Madrid will be confident. Look, how can you discredit Real Madrid? It's finely poised. And I'm just very happy in that respect, because after the quarterfinals, it was all over, bro. Like, the majority of the times were over after the quarterfinals. At least now we've got a finely poised semi-final, which is basically a one leg, who knows what can happen. And that's what I want to see. And that's the really exciting thing. Because when I previewed the game earlier, I said, look, for Man City, for both teams, actually, Real Madrid and Man City, you're going to take punishment in this game. You're going to face adversity. But don't let the game go out of sight. Never, ever do that, man. Keep your foot on the gas. Because you can't let the game go out of sight. You can't end the tie in one game. Take it back to the Etihad if you're Man City. And if you're Real Madrid, bring something to the Etihad. Do you get what I mean? I think both teams did that in many respects. I think Real Madrid will know that they've got something on counter-attack here. I think they'll know Vinicius has got the beating of Kyle Walker. But equally, Man City know that in front of their home fans at the Etihad, it's a one-legged tie. They'll fancy their chances, man. I think Pep Guardiola would have taken a draw before the game started, and he's doing exactly that. Vinicius is very good. Raw talent at full display. That man is a baller, man. B-A-L-L-A. Absolute ball. I've got the Brazil shirt on for a reason, because I know my Brazilian boys, Rodrigo and Vinicius, were going to cook. Look, he's just flair. And the thing I love about Vinicius most of all, right, is he's direct. He's direct. I prefer watching Vinicius than prime Neymar. Call me crazy, but I do, because he's direct, man. When Neymar picks up the football, right, it's a bit of like a skill show, like he's playing FIFA Street. You know what I mean? Like sombrero flicks in the corner. What does that do? When Vinicius picks up the ball, right, he's skillful, but he's also direct. Like that goal, picks up the ball, run. First instinct is, how can I attack? How can I go for the throw? And that's exactly what a good footballer does, man. A winger needs to be direct. And then Vinicius possesses all those traits. Yeah, he's skillful. Yeah, he's flair. Yeah, he's entertaining. But also he's direct. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to score. Both goals today were brilliant, man. Really tough strikes. But across the goalkeeper, brilliant finishes. Abdallah, appreciate you on the stream. I hope you subscribe if you're new around here, my friend. Anyone else that's new around here, 116 people watching right now. Make sure you subscribe for football-related content. Tomorrow as well, stream for AC Milan, Inter Milan. I cannot wait for it. Haaland was ghosted today. To be fair, Luke, you're right. But I thought same with Benzema. Neither Benzema nor Haaland were in the game. It was more the wingers that were having more of an impact, to be honest. But it's the thing, right? Big players need to stand up and be counted. If it wasn't Haaland, it was De Bruyne today. And that's the main thing. But also, people underestimate the effect Haaland has, not only in the fact that he scores goals, is his impact. Like, you have to put two bodies on Haaland. And Musk tells me, if two people are guarding Haaland, there's going to be space for the rest of the players, whether it is De Bruyne, whether it is someone like, I don't know, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, you know what I mean? So by having Haaland on the pitch and extra presence, never extra bodies attracted to Haaland, it gives the space to other players. I think one player that really gets underrated, is Rodri. But one thing I'll say is, book this man, bro. The referees refuse to book Rodri. He gets away with tactical fouls time after time after time, man. It's his game plan. It is pure tactical foul, tactical foul, tactical foul. And the referee doesn't stop it. He never stops it, man. I'm sitting there thinking, how's this man not been booked? So they got to stop that. But he's a massive part of how Man City play, man. A massive, massive factor. Tommy, appreciate you joining the stream. Madrid can still do it. The Etihad, City looking tired. Everton have a chance Saturday. By the way, you missed a Super Monday of relegation football yesterday. 21 goals, amazing. I did, man. It was my test today. I missed the football yesterday, man. It's crazy that I missed it. It was so entertaining. But it's one of those things. And I agree. Look, Man City fans, Real Madrid fans, let me know in the live chat. Are you happy with this result? Because genuinely, I think Man City will be the happier. But I don't think Real Madrid will be too disappointed. Look, Real Madrid lost 1-0 in the Copa del Rey semi-final at the Nou Camp. Sorry, at the Bernabeu, then crashed Barcelona 4-0 at the Nou Camp. Real Madrid can turn up in any stadium. Real Madrid can make any stadium their home ground. They did the same thing at Anfield. They won 5-2 at Anfield. Do you know how tough that is to win? Do you know how tough it is full stop to win at Anfield, let alone win 5-2? So Real Madrid, they'll go to the Etihad thinking it's their home ground. They've got that mentality. They've got that warrior ability, man. Like they know this is our competition to lose. The Champions League trophy's got Real Madrid's name on it. Everyone else has to come and take their name off it. That's how they look at this competition, bro. They're genuinely, they're killers, man. They're winners and they're killers. And they're assassins, that whole team. So if I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, you know what? Real Madrid aren't going to be scared. And Real Madrid, to an extent, were playing for the draw as well. I mean, you saw the natural substitution for Modric. You saw players like Asensio coming on for Rodrigo. I think Ancelotti looked at it as well and said, you know what? We'll take the draw back to Etihad. We fancy ourselves in a one-off leg there. Hit them on the counter-attack. Because for the domination Man City had here, Real Madrid fans were getting a bit tentative. They're getting a bit annoyed because they want the ball back. But I think Carlo Ancelotti will actually favour the Etihad because he knows that the Etihad, right, it's going to be the Man City fans. So the Man City fans will be pressurising the Man City to get on the ball, get Gundogan on the football, get Bernardo Silva on the football, De Bruyne on the football, let them tick, But at the same time, Carlo Ancelotti knows their best game plan is you got to hit them on the counter-attack. So he knows that at home, Man City are going to dominate the ball even more. And their fans going to want them to dominate the football. And they won't have the pressure from the Bernabeu crowd to dominate the football if you're Real Madrid. And then you can start to do your damage. Because trust me, you don't need to have the football a lot. But if Vinicius get the ball in dangerous areas, and if Benzema gets the ball in dangerous areas, and if Rodrigo gets the ball in dangerous areas, good things will happen for Real Madrid. So that's got to be their game plan. 98 people. Wow. Yeah, man, 100 people right now watching as well. I appreciate everyone tuning in. How you got 98, bro? Luca, man, don't question the grind. Vini Jr was outstanding. Agree, man. Top tier baller. Genuinely, one of my favorite players on planet Earth, man. I put the Brazil shirt on for a reason. I don't have any allegiance to Man City or Real Madrid. I mean, between the two, I'd of course rather Real Madrid get through than Man City. But I just love watching brilliant footballers. And Vinicius Jr is a brilliant footballer. That man is top tier. Genuinely, he's liquid, bro. He's gold. He's gold dust. When he picks up the ball, I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat. Even my dad, bro. My dad's sitting there thinking, what's going on? Even the little things like the rainbow flick at the end of the game. Like, do you see any old footballer doing that? In the Champions League semi-final? Just little things like that just goes to show how much of a top-tier player he is, Vinicius. Top player, man. And to be fair, when they first signed him, right, I thought he was going to be a bust. I'm be real. I'm an honest person. He had that first season, he struggled to adapt. And I was thinking, one of those Brazilian wonder kids never really materializes. But fair play to him, man. He's taken his game to a next level. Same with Rodrigo as well. They've stood up. And it's one thing scoring goals in matches, right? And scoring a lot of goals. But Vinicius and Rodrigo are standing up in big moments now, man. For young players, and they've got the world on their shoulders, but they're standing up in big moments. Like Rodrigo, 2 goals in the Copa del Rey final. Vinicius today, when his team was struggling, when his team on the ropes, they were getting pound for pound beaten up by Man City, struggling to get out of their half. Vinicius says, give me the football, let me make something happen. Give me the football, let me run. Let me score a big goal against Man City. A team that does not concede goals, by the way. I remember the last time I see Man City go 1-0 down in a football match. So brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. Walker was solid. You say that Tommy, and I agree, he was to an extent. It's very hard. Like, Vinicius is a very tricky customer. But at the same time, I think Vinicius will sit there and clock and go, you know what? I think I've got the better of Walker. I think I can take Walker to the cleaners because he can. Genuinely, he can. If I'm Vinicius there, I'm thinking, you know what? Walker's a tough opponent, but I'm better than him. I can get past him. He proved on multiple times today, the little touches around the corner. He knows he's got that in his arsenal that he can get past him. So I think it's really solid. I think both teams today really proved what they're about. I think the first 25 minutes proved that Man City is a solid football team. Like the best football team on planet Earth, in my opinion, Man City. The way they dominated that first 25 minutes in the Bernabeu, by the way, top tier. But then Real Madrid showed their class because they didn't struggle. They didn't in that first 25 minutes, they didn't fold, they didn't capitulate. They stayed in the game. Then they scored a brilliant goal for Vinicius. Then they started to take ascendancy. But then Man City again showed their class because it could have been a tough night. 1-0 down to Real Madrid, watching them dominate the football, wave after wave of attack, corner kicks, watching them get fouled easily. Just in there thinking, oh, come on, man, we need to get a goal. We need to get a goal. And a big player, Kevin De Bruyne, stood up and was counted in the biggest of moments. What a time for him to score. And now it makes it finally points. 206 people watching right now. Make sure you subscribe for Football Reaction. I appreciate everyone tuning in. As always, let me know your thoughts in live chat. I want to see everyone's thoughts, what they thought of the game. Man City fans, Real Madrid fans, let me know. I'm reacting to all the comments bit by bit. I'm going to get through them, of course. My next reaction tomorrow as well. AC Milan, Inter Milan, another Champions League game. You do not want to miss it, man. Football on this channel all day, every day. All right. Yeah, those games were amazing yesterday. They were, man. Brilliant football matches. Stones was pretty good today. Oh, yo, Stones needs his flowers, man. Give John Stones his flowers. This man, the evolution he's taken since coming from Everton to Man City is unbelievable. Genuinely, it is so good. Because I doubted him at Everton. I did. When Man City bought him, I thought in that first season he was all right. But I was thinking, is he going to take that next step? John Stones, first of all, he's playing the centre midfielder role, yeah? First of all, that's very hard to do. Very tough to do. Like, you more often than not, to slot into midfield as a defender, right? It's hard enough as a right back and left back. It's even harder as a centre-back to do that. Genuinely, you have to play 200 games in that position to slot in. Playing the centre of the park is one of the hardest positions on the football pitch to play. He's done it brilliantly. Even the little things, man, where Rodrigo's got the ball, he just stands up, hands behind the back, and just takes it in the chest. And then they're all calling for penalty because, of course, they're going to Real Madrid. They call for a penalty after everything. But he just sits there and just firms it in the chest, man. Doesn't turn his back, doesn't put his arms out, just firms in the chest. Says, hit me right in the chest, man. If it goes out for a corner, it goes out for a corner. The ball's not getting past me. That's the little things John Stone does really right, man. And I think Guardiola's really molded that man into a top centre-back. Really good. Man City rode out Madrid pressure at 1. It was a quality game going to be close at the Etihad. Yes, see, this is the thing, right? This is a problem for me because Man City, for me, to win this tie, they have to win outright. As in, like, they have to have a comfortable lead. Because if it's a tight game, the edge goes to Real Madrid for me because they're proven in tight matches, when the game's on the line, when it's thin margins, they'll take that extra step. They'll run that extra yard to get the extra goal and progress. Man City, for me, they've got the ability to blow Real Madrid out the water next week. They do. They're proving it. But you got to put your foot on the neck. I think they did the right thing today. Man City played with the handbrake up a little bit today. They played in second gear. Because Man City, they were knocking the ball about nicely, but you could tell they didn't want to commit too many bodies forward. They knew it was a marathon, not a sprint. I've been very critical of Man City in recent years in the Champions League, treating two legs like one leg. Like, they try and finish the game in the first leg and it backfired because then they get hit on the counter-attack. I remember it happening against Lyon, for example. Like, they got knocked out to Lyon in the Champions League. It's crazy. I think today they played with a bit more, what's the word? A bit more of like nous about them. Like, Guardiola stood there and he was like, you know what? It's one leg at the Etihad, at Bernabeu. We start to take this back to Etihad. Let's not commit too many bodies forwards. If it's 1-1, so be it. Yes, we've got the ability to beat Real Madrid here. And yes, we've been playing brilliant football. But we take the 1-1 and we come back to the Etihad. I think he knows. And look, De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, they've been in that Man City team for a while now. They've aged. They're up to 32 years old. Their prime is slowly depleting. But at the same time, they've got the experience. Like, for however many years Man City have failed in the Champions League, every failure is a lesson learned. And that's why, for me, I think they're going to win the Champions League, personally. And today, they proved they're the better team. But the thing is, right, at the same time, the better team doesn't always win. So you got to sit there and think, sometimes tactically, yes, we played the better football in the first 25 minutes, but this is Real Madrid. Real Madrid never say die. So at the same time, you can't just sit there and go, we should win this game. We should go all out with a better team because, you know, reserve some in the bank, man. Don't get caught in the counter-attack. I think seeing the end of that game when Haaland and De Bruyne were through and seeing no one else run forward really showed to me and really proved to me that Guardiola sat there and said, you know what, let's hit the 1-1 back to the Etihad. Because I think he would have snapped your hand off for a one-legged tie at the Etihad, being basically 1-1. Whoever takes it wins it at the Etihad. I think that's exactly what he wants. City were getting impatient and they were shooting from distance, like the announcer said. Yes, you're right. But at the same time, I think that's the only way they were going to score because they were not really cutting Real Madrid open. Real Madrid actually defending well. Like, they were defending their box well. The only way Man City were getting chances were outside the box shots, which is dangerous, by the way, because Rodri can lick them. De Bruyne can lick them, of course. So you're sitting there thinking that was the only way they were going to score. And the funny thing is, right, when they did score was actually the point where Real Madrid were on top the most. Like, the time when Man City scored was when Real Madrid had their best spell in the football match. Arguably, both times when each team scored was against the run of play. But the funny thing is, right, you're not going to believe me, but genuinely, about 10 seconds before De Bruyne scored, a thought popped in my head saying, Man City are going to score right now. It just came to my head right there and then. I just had that funny feeling. And it's just because of the fact that how assassin-like these players are. Whether it's not De Bruyne, it will be Haaland. If it's not him, it will be Jack Grealish. Like, these players have been around the block. They know what to do at the right time, man. City were controlling the ball in the first 30 minutes, but they weren't going anywhere. Haaland was invisible today. Well, here's the thing, Jeff, and I agree with you. I don't necessarily think they weren't going anywhere. I think they were going somewhere, but controlling the ball alone is a big thing. Sometimes in a tough game away from home, first 10 minutes, get your foot on the ball, man. Knock it about. Don't make anything. Just get used to the football. Pass it around. Draw the opponent out. It's really a psychological boost. Trust me, in that first 30 minutes, see Man City 70% of possession and Real Madrid at 30% would have been a wake-up call to think, hang on a minute. Man City have just gone to the Bernabeu and have crashed them at their own gaff. Yeah, they haven't got 1-0 up, but they're clearly playing a better football. Real Madrid haven't left their half. So I think seeing that all materialize in front of our very eyes proved that Man City are one of the best teams on planet Earth, if not the best team. So I think it is important. Yeah, I think they created chances. They did create chances, but I don't think they got anything clear cut. That is the main thing, man. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, you know what? You're right, by the way, it's on the second point. Haaland was invisible. But at the same time, I think Man City will be quietly pleased because they know they come back to the Etihad of 1-1. They're proving in the first 25 minutes they are the better football team. So I think overall, if you go on the balance of play, they're going to look at you and think, you know what? We take this back to Etihad, we can get something here. Yeah, all ball, but no threat. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you're not going to slack. It's Real Madrid at the end of the day, man. It's like, this is one of the toughest games in world football. Going to the Bernabeu is like going to Anfield. It's never going to be easy ride, man. So sometimes getting your foot on the ball is just as important than having a chance on the counter-attack, because just control the game, man. Control the game, dictate the tempo, get everyone numbed down, because it's going to be a high-intense match. It's going to be a lot of nerve jangling, a lot of anxious players on the football pitch. Get on the football, man. Calm down everything. Knock it about. Get Bernardo Silva on the ball. Get Gundogan on the football. Get Rodri on the football. De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. Some of these players that, of course, they're used to high-intense atmosphere as it would be, but at the same time, nothing beats a Champions League semi-final away at the Bernabeu. So they're going to need to take time on the football, man. I think they did the right thing, Man City. Just control possession early. Man City happier, but it's not over. Exactly. I agree with that point. I agree, Jeff. I didn't hear Haaland's name the whole game except for the chance at the 60th minute. You're right. Haaland was basically anonymous. But at the same time, even if he does nothing right, his aura alone, his presence on the football pitch is big enough to draw so many players away. Like, you see Haaland run, yeah, and Rudiger follows him, Alaba follows him, Carvajal follows him. Then there's a massive gap in the middle. It's simple maths to know that if certain players get attracted to one side, then there's going to be other players open on the overload. Do you get what I mean? I think both teams actually exercise as well. There was a lot of switches from each flank. So when Jack Grealish was double teamed, he'd swing it out the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. One thing that really surprised me about Pep is, though, he didn't make any subs. Like, for me, I see Camavinga on the pitch, right, at left back. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's got to the 60th minute, at the time when you're 1-0 down. Why not throw on Riyad Mahrez? Why not test Camavinga? Because Bernardo Silva likes to slot in midfield. He does it for extra control in the football match because there's basically overload the midfield. Put Stones in midfield and put Bernardo Silva in midfield and just win that midfield battle. But I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, Camavinga at left back, is he going to get tested by Bernardo Silva? No, not really. He's stronger and quicker than him. Why not throw on Riyad Mahrez? Why not let him have a run at him? Remember, last year, right? Riyad Mahrez got the goal at the Bernabeu. Yeah, ended up in vain because Rodrigo scored 2, then Benzema scored the penalty to send Madrid to the final. But Riyad Mahrez got that all-important goal at the Bernabeu. He's been there and done it before. So if I was Pep, I was kind of bemused why he didn't make any subs and at least bring on Riyad Mahrez. Let him have a run at Camavinga. But then again, Pep knows best, bro. Who am I to lecture Pep on how to manage a football team? I just personally think sitting there going, he should have done more, man. He should have done more. Never over till it's over. Agree, bro. 100% agree. I never expected City to dominate the Bernabeu. Talks of 5 or 6-1 were crazy to me. This is the thing, Tommy. Those of you that were here before in the live stream, I said Man City would dominate the ball, but never count out Real Madrid. I said, if Real Madrid didn't have their name to them, if they didn't have the 14 Champions Leagues on their sleeve, I would sit there and go, this is a Man City easy win, bro. Like, because Man City is a much better football team, but Real Madrid have their aura. Don't get me wrong. I thought Man City would dominate the football, and I thought Man City would be the better team. And this game kind of went how I expected it, to be completely honest. But at the same time, never count out this Real Madrid team, man. Never in your life. They're proving it time and time again. Last season really proved it to anyone that counted them ever out. this team will come back from the death. Even when it feels irrecoverable, they'll find a way to recover it. They're that team, man. It runs in their DNA. It's their aura. Like, you can't associate Champions League with Real Madrid. Like I said before on the stream, right? The Champions League trophy has Real Madrid's name on it at the start of every season. It's up to every other team in the competition to take Real Madrid's name off it. That's how I view it, and that's how Real Madrid view it as well. Their name is just it's word associations. Champions League. 99 people. Wow, yeah, I appreciate it, Luca, man. 137 people right now. Rudiger shot Haaland down today. This is the thing, man. Rudiger's up for the fight. Rudiger is up for the fight, bro. This Donny will scrap with Haaland. I think he needs that because a lot of players they feel a bit. They don't know what to do with Haaland because he's stronger than you and he's faster than you. So how do you defend him? If you give him yards, he'll turn and he'll pass the ball. If you go touch that to him, he'll spin you and run. Rudiger, I think he's fast. Of course he is. But also he's strong. And Rudiger backs himself. So I think it's going to be really tough. And another man that really surprised me today was Alaba. Alaba has been around the block. He's played for Bayern Munich. Of course, Haaland at Borussia Dortmund. We see the links there, etc. But the thing about Alaba is, right, he's not really strong. He's like a 5'11" centre-back. But he's been around the block, man. He knows the game inside out. That block he made on Haaland, that's a high IQ defensive move, man. Very high IQ defensive move. Getting his foot behind the ball at the right time, man, to block it. Brilliant stuff, man. Haaland barely touched the ball. No goals in 2 drought. Well, here's the thing, Tommy. Here's my point, right? After the Man City Leeds game on this channel, I reviewed and I said, give Haaland the penalty because he didn't score against Leeds. And not only did he not score against Leeds, that's one thing. He looks bad against Leeds. Let's be real about it. He had about 4 clear-cut chances he missed. So give him the penalty. Give him an easy goal to get him going because I don't care how good a striker you are, yeah? The centre-forward position is a confidence position. It is. Even if you're the most crap striker on planet Earth, if you get a couple goals under your belt, you're going to feel like prime Cristiano Ronaldo, prime R9 because it's such a confidence-led position. You can go 1 game without a goal and you think, not that deep. You go 2 games without a goal, suddenly it becomes 3, 4, 5. You're wondering where your next goal can come from. And this is Erling Haaland. And don't get me wrong, I expect him to bounce back on the weekend against Everton. But you're sitting there and you're thinking, give him the penalty, man, because you don't know where your next goal is going to come from as a striker. It's so easy to assume, if I don't score a penalty, I'll score the next one. But don't think like that, man. I would have given him the penalty personally. This is Man City. Like I said, Man City are the best team on planet Earth, in my opinion. The only way they don't win football matches is by beating themselves. It's by getting complacent. Because they are the best team. They've got the best squad, etc. But if they start doing complacent things, that's when they start eating themselves up and teams start to take advantage, man. You are your own worst enemy. Pep Guardiola knows it himself. He's not won the Champions League for 16 years, that man. Don't tell me he's not desperate to win this Champions League. He is absolutely desperate. I don't care what that... Don't listen to anything that man says in the media about, the Premier League's more important. Pep Guardiola wants that Champions League so bad. He wants that like his life depends on it, man. So he's going to be sitting there and he would have... That's why he wanted Haaland to take that penalty because he knows more than me, right? Get Haaland to go on that penalty. Terrible game, but he can still go home on the bus, saying, I got a penalty against Leeds, I scored a goal against my hometown. Then I'll go to the Bernabeu with a goal under my belt. But instead, he went to Bernabeu behind one of the worst matches in his life against Leeds. Just one of those things. Breaking news from Manchester. Hello, everyone. We just got news that the robot Haaland's not scored any goal in 2 games. He's human. Well, here's the thing, man. I labeled my stream before Haaland is human. And he was a bit anonymous today. You're 100% right. But no one can count against him, man. Just like you can't count against Real Madrid, you can't count against Haaland. And this is why they brought him in. They brought him in for these moments because they didn't bring in Haaland to win the Premier League. If they wanted to win the Premier League every season, they would have stuck with Gabriel Jesus. Pep Guardiola, Man City, brought in Erling Haaland to win the Champions League. He needs to be that X factor. He needs to be that man that when the game's on the line, when it's 1-1, when it's 2-2, when anyone can win it, you give the ball to Haaland and let him score. Because the problem was they would give it to Jesus. And I'm an Arsenal fan, so I know myself. When Jesus will get the ball in dangerous areas, you can't rely on him to score a goal. You can rely on Haaland. So now it's the time for him to stand up and be counted, man. This is what they bought him for. They bought him for these moments. Haaland, you got to turn up in that second leg, man. Yeah, quarters were disappointing. Can't see either side, Milan side running away with it either. Well, here's the thing, man. This is why I said the semi-finals, this is what I want to see in football, man. Tightly contested games. Not decided in one leg. That's not what I want, man. That's not what I want. I want it to be decided over 2 legs. And that is exactly what we're seeing with these semi-finals, man. It's been brilliant. That skill on the touchline right out of the Copacabana. Yeah, man. Literally, that was beach football stuff right there. The little rainbow flick. I'm sitting there thinking, what is this man doing, bro? Is this a simulation? Like, he's doing a rainbow flick on the sideline against Kyle Walker. He's one of the best defenders in world football. Yeah, it didn't really come off, but still, it's unbelievable from Vinicius. Ref was leaning with Karsnite. Here's the thing, man. I'm going to give the referee a lot of credit. A lot of credit because the way he managed this game was top. Real Madrid, they're a bit whiny. They're a little bit like, we need the penalty, when it wasn't even hitting someone's hand. But he dealt with that game really well. He needs to book Rodri, though, man. How this man last 9 minutes without getting yellow carded is beyond me. Every game, tactical foul, tactical foul, tactical foul. He gets away with it, bro. Sometimes I just wish I was referee so I could book Rodri because his game will change completely once he knows he's on the yellow card. The way he plays his game so well is because he's been trained by Pep Guardiola, yeah? He knows how to foul. It's not just fouling at the right time, it's how to foul. Do enough to stop the player, but not enough to get booked. Pep Guardiola teaches his players this, man. I will teach my son the same thing when he becomes a footballer. Foul at the right moments. Because fouling is such an important part of football. Tactical fouling, cynical fouling, it's such an integral part of managing a football game. And Rodri does it absolutely brilliantly. You complain about him for doing it. I will never complain him for doing it. That's part of the game. Complain to the referee for not booking him for it. That's where my beef is with. My beef is with the referee who should book him for doing silly things like that. That's just my thoughts on it. Is it me or is Grealish an angry player? Him and Carvalho were really at it tonight. You know what, yeah? You can get at Grealish. That's the reason, man. Grealish, you can get at him. He will go mentally. His head will completely go. So I think Real Madrid looked at it and said, Carvalho, target this Grealish guy. Chirp in his ear, body him a little bit, get him going. Because he isn't at his best when he's wound up. And Grealish is easy to wound up, man. He'll do something stupid. He likes to talk. He likes to give it the big one. So I think that was part of their game plan, to be completely honest, man. Are these the two best teams in the world right now? In terms of ability, yes, I'd say Man City are the best team in Europe right now, man. 100%. 100%. I'll fight anyone to the cliff on that, man. Man City are the best team in Europe, 100%. Real Madrid, quality-wise, they've got some of the best players in the world. I'll not doubt that. But at the same time, I look at them. They're second in La Liga. But the thing about Real Madrid, right, is that is a club of winners, bro. That is a club of standards. Like, Real Madrid are a club that even if they have the academy team out there, they will never lie down and die. Like, that team is just born and bred winners. There's just something special in those waters, something special in that stadium, man. So for me, I will never want to face Real Madrid in any sort of a European knockout tie. Never. Never in a million years. At home against Barcelona, right? This is why the tie's not over, by the way. At home against Barcelona, they lost 1-0 in the Copa del Rey semi-final. You're thinking, oh, Barcelona driving seat. They go back to the Nou Camp 1-0 up. We go to the Nou Camp and Real Madrid crushed them 4-0. Benzema scoring 4. I'm sitting there thinking, what's going on? They've just crushed them 4-0 at the Nou Camp. So we could go to the Etihad and the same thing could happen. I doubt it because I think Man City are a better team than Barcelona personally. But you never know with Real Madrid, man. They've got the ability to just pull results out of nowhere. They treat any away ground like it's their home. That is crazy. Wow, that's amazing. 240 people right now. Yeah, it's dropped off slightly, but I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're new around, make sure you subscribe for football-related content. My next stream tomorrow as well. AC Milan, Inter Milan for the second Champions League tie of the two. Equally will be amazing as well. I cannot wait for it. Stones is good. Stones is unbelievable, man. The way he plays that position, like I said, that's an IQ footballer because it will take you about 200 games to adapt to a position. And for me, centre midfield is one of the toughest positions in world football. You've got to link defence and attack. You've got to be just as adept going forward as you are going backwards. The reason Real Madrid are so good, right, is because they've got their wingers that are so youthful, so exuberant, so clinical in Vinicius and Rodrigo. But the midfield, that team, the Cruz and Modric and Valverde, like we're talking about two veterans in Cruz and Modric with a brilliant footballer in Valverde. They piece the whole team together, man. They know when to get on the football. They know when to spin behind. Like sometimes you just need those old heads in the team to know what to do at the right moments. They know how to dictate a game, how to control the tempo. So brilliant, man. Shout out to Modric, man. Man is nearly 38 and still commanding that midfield at the highest level. Shout out. And he was injured about 2 weeks ago, I believe. I didn't think he was going to make this game, but brilliant, man. Get Why Football 500 people. Yeah, man, get me up to 500 people. Not only that, man, get me to 2,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. Anyone new around here, make sure you subscribe. I'm seeing the semi-final differently now. Madrid is going to advance. Oh, so you're going for Madrid. Yes, 118 people watching right now. Live chat. Let me know who you believe is going to advance. Real Madrid or Man City. I want to hear it. My mind doesn't change. I still believe it'll be Man City. I called it before the tie started. I'm not going to change it now. But equally, don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised. I've got a Brazil shirt on for a reason. My boy Vinicius Jr., one of my favorite players on planet Earth right now, man. I need him to cook in that second leg. Jeff, I still have a sneaky feeling Madrid will do it. Well, there's the thing. We've got two people on Madrid, man. Is it the Madrid name, though? Like, is the name carrying it? All right, I've got to go. One of our baby bird left the nest now. He's trying to fly now that mom and dad isn't there. I appreciate you tuning to stream as always, Luke, man. He's getting got stuck in our gazebo, but got out. Oh, man. I hope you deal with that situation. Hope to see my next stream tomorrow, Luke. I appreciate you tuning in. See you again, Luke. Yeah, take care, man. It is a live match, guys. It just finished. Mutani. I hope I pronounced it right. Yeah, the match just finished about half an hour ago. Real Madrid won, Man City won. Second leg will be on Wednesday next week, covering it on this channel again at 10 p.m. Friday, of course. If it goes extra time and penalties, as soon as the match is finished, I will be covering it on this channel, of course. Rodri is immune to cards. Agree 100%, bro. They need to start booking him. They need to do it because he gets away with it every time, man. Every single time. I agree. Vinicius Jr. is one of my favorite players to watch. He is, man. Top footballer. Genuinely so good, man. But yes, on the balance of play, right? I think a draw was actually a fair result on the balance of play for this game as well. That's the main thing because you look and you think first 25 minutes, all Man City. I don't think anyone could doubt that. I think everyone can agree that first 25 minutes was all Man City's game. But then you start to look at it and go, second half of the game, Madrid really stepped up. They got their goal out of nowhere, in my opinion, in terms of the fact that it was all Man City. They weren't even leaving their box. But when they did get their goal, they stood up and they were counting that second half of Real Madrid, man. And I have to commend them for that. But then again, also Man City, it's very easy, right, to psychologically fold in football. After dominating basically the whole first half, right, seeing yourself 1-0 down is really a psychological hit. It's a hit to the system. But then again, in the second half, seeing yourself get dominated and you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's what could have been. To then stand up and still score a massive goal at a time when you are at your weakest, you have to commend Man City for that big time. That was absolutely brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. So if you're Man City, it's more of the same for absolute sure. But at the same time, if you're Real Madrid, right, you got to go. You got to go to the Etihad and you got to go with that same counter-attacking mentality. And I think away games suit Real Madrid. Genuinely, they went to Anfield and they won 5-2 because at home, their fans are a bit impatient. And rightly so. You're Real Madrid, you're Galacticos, you're one of the biggest teams in world football. You're a little bit impatient in the fact that you want to dominate the game, you want to dominate the football. The fans don't want to see Real Madrid sit back and absorb pressure. They want to have that same pressure at the Etihad. They know that they can sit back and they can absorb pressure and they can hit on the counter-attack. Because for me, Real Madrid know, football for football, possession for possession, they're going to get beaten by Man City. That's not their game. But one thing they do know for a fact is they can beat Man City on the counter-attack. Vinicius, if they isolate Vinicius on Kyle Walker, and more importantly, Rodrigo on Akanji or Ake, whoever it is, that's where they will get their joy. So I'm thinking, if you're Real Madrid, you've got to make sure that you keep at it. You keep at it and you don't stop. Because in that second leg, there's still all to play for, man. This game is not over. This tie is not over. And I cannot wait for next week, man. I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Okay. Let me know in live chat as well your thoughts on the game, guys. From the Man City point of view, right? So we've spoken about how Real Madrid need to approach the game. For me, if you're Man City, you play the same way you play in that first half, man. You get your foot on the football. You know, you just beat Bayern Munich 3-0 at the Etihad. You're basically flawless at the Etihad. I can't remember the last time they lost. I think it was to Brentford before the World Cup, just before the World Cup, in fact. So if you're Man City, you know, you play your style of play, you'll be completely fine, man. Completely fine. But remain reserved on the counter-attack because you got to know you can't commit too many bodies forward. Man City will sit there and go, first leg away from home, they would have been delighted the first leg was at the Bernabeu. Absolutely delighted because they do not want to take a game to the Etihad. But their first portal call, they would not want to take the second leg to the Bernabeu. Man City's first portal call going into this game was, don't make the game go out of sight. Don't let the game die too early. And I think they did the right thing, right? Because it was 1-0 for basically, it was 1-0 Real Madrid. They didn't sit there, they didn't chase. I tweeted saying, don't chase the game, Man City. Don't. You have chances. And if you lose 1-0, so be it. Bayern Munich, for me, made the problem. When they went to the Etihad, right, they were in that first half, Bayern Munich. It was brilliant. It was tit for tat. They conceded a wonder strike to Rodri. Kind of like Vinicius' goal. Not the same type of goal, but you know what I mean? Like, isn't that just a wonder strike out of nowhere? And Bayern Munich, what they did is they made the mistake of chasing the game. They thought, oh, we're Bayern Munich. We should get back in this game. And then what happened is they got pipped on the counter-attack. It went from 2-0 to 3-0. Suddenly you go back to Allianz and the tie's over. Man City did the right thing. They were 1-0 down. They didn't sit there and chase the game. They treated the tie like a marathon, not a sprint. Exactly what you need to do, man. So if I'm Man City, more of the same. Got a big goal through Kevin De Bruyne. I'll give you a big confidence boost. And look, the ties are only 1 week apart. It's not like the round of 16 where they were spaced out by 3-4 weeks. Momentum can play a massive part. Man City got the momentum heading into the game at the Etihad. They've got the fans behind them, and they know it is the biggest game in their lives. The treble is on. The treble is on. And look, get a good result against Everton, which will be a tough game now. Everton won 5-1 yesterday against Brighton, and you get a bit more momentum back, and you can keep going. The main thing is they don't want to get run ragged against Everton, man. They want to let that game be managed as possible. I want to see the changes Pep Guardiola makes. Does he change some names? Does he take out Rodri? Does he take out Haaland? For me, he plays Haaland against Everton because he needs to get Haaland firing again on the score sheet. So I'm interested to see what team he runs in that game. Of course, it's going to be a high-flying match with top implications, top and bottom of the Premier League. Implications on my club, Arsenal, as well. I can't wait for that game. But equally, if you're Pep Guardiola, you've got to look at it and think, I've got to rest some players because this tie isn't over. This tie isn't over one bit. I think the only result that would have ended the tie would have been Man City 2-0 win. I don't even think that, Tommy. Genuinely, for Man City to finish this, it would have to be 3-0 at least. At least. Because even 2-0, you're sitting there and going, like, Real Madrid they won 5-2 at Anfield, and they were 2-0 down at Anfield. So you're sitting there thinking, even that's not over, man. Noda, appreciate you joining the stream as always. Make sure you subscribe if you're new auntie. Anyone else that's new auntie, make sure you subscribe for football-related content. I love hearing you guys' thoughts in the live chat going through all comments. bit by bit by bit. My next stream tomorrow, AC Milan versus Inter Milan. So if you love football, if you love Champions League, this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe. My road to 2,000 subscribers for football-related content. Drop a like down below as well, so the video goes out to more people on the algorithm. Man City need to hit them hard first 20 minutes, get 2 goals to kill Madrid. Yes, Tommy, you're right. You're right. Man City needs to start that game out the blocks, because to assert themselves in the game, because I think that's where they're at their best. Man City are always best when they're dominating the football. They're not like Real Madrid. Real Madrid I've given credit to because they can adapt. They can play a game where they dominate possession for 80 minutes. They can play a game where they sit back and absorb. They can play both facets of the match. With Man City, I believe the only style of football they can play is possession. They only know get it on the football and move it. And I think they need to do that early. Get the fan base involved as well. It'll be a packed Etihad, which will be a surprise. It's not normally like that. But it will be a packed Etihad on next Wednesday. Get on the football, get it moving. Get a goal early to numb the crowd, but keep it going. But equally, yeah, don't chase the game. Neither side needs to chase that game too early, man. Don't chase it. If you go 1-0 down, Real Madrid or Man City, keep at it. Keep at it. Chances will come for both teams. I promise you that, man. Both teams, I said before, both teams will take punishment in these 2 legs. Both teams. Neither side will sit there and coast to the final. It never is in a Champions League semi-final. But you got to take your chance at the right time. You got to defend compactly. And I think both teams exhibited that today. Both teams exhibited why they're in a Champions League semi-final, because they both showed the best sides of their game. But equally, there's going to be times when you're going to make mistakes. I mean, we saw Rodri misplace a pass that almost gave Benzema a goal if it wasn't for Ruben Diaz cutting it out. So mistakes are going to happen from both sides. It's all about capitalizing on it and making as few mistakes as possible. I don't like the last 16, 3-week gap, not good in my opinion. I agree, but I think they do it just to space out so you can watch multiple games, because otherwise they'd put 4 games on at once. So it'd be a bit bad in that respect. But I agree with you, man. It's a massive gap between the games, to be completely honest. So when it's the last 16 ties aren't usually that good anyway. I mean, look, Tommy, I got hate when I said the Champions League only gets interesting in the quarterfinals. Genuinely, that's the only time it gets interesting. Group stages is dead. Well, I'll watch it obviously because I love football and I watch a lot of football. But in terms of actual quality out there, it's more often than not a whitewash. It's probably even worse than the Premier League because you got Man City playing teams like Rudiger or Real Madrid playing teams like Mulder. You know what I mean? Like like Dinamo Zagreb and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking it's a clash, bro. It's not even the best of both worlds. But you're right. I thought quarterfinals would be better than they were, to be fair. The quarterfinals really, for me, were worse than I actually anticipated. I thought they were going to be really good matches of football, which is a bit unfortunate, really. But the semifinals have really turned up. And football this season generally has been really good, especially in the Premier League. The Premier League, we've been treated. What's up, brother? Appreciate you on the stream as always, Jordan. Hope you're doing well. Agreed, I don't watch group stages unless it's a big game. Yeah, I agree as well. And there's a lot of group stages as well. Next season, though, my team is back in the Champions League, man. It's been too long. Last time, 2017. Arsenal are back in the Champions League. I cannot wait, bro. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'll be covering Arsenal matches. None of this Europa League orange background football. It'll be Champions League Arsenal reactions on this channel. I cannot wait for next season, man. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, bro. See my team play good teams in the Champions League. Oh, man, it puts a smile on my face, man. You lot don't know. For the last 6 years, I watched my team play Europa League Thursday night football, and it's done my head in, bro. Even the theme tune, mate, it does my head in. For the whole summer, I'm going to be replaying the Champions League theme tune on repeat, man. On repeat until we get smacked 4-1 against Real Madrid in the last 16 or something. But yeah, this is the thing. Bro, will the new format offer better group games? If so, it might not be bad. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm not sure if it gets introduced next season or the season after, but there's going to be, is it 48 teams in the Champions League? There's going to be like a massive group and you play 10 games and then the top 16 teams go through, basically. It's a bit strange to get your head around at first, but it will make sense, I think, as we go through it. I think it could make it interesting, but generally, right, the stakes just increase as you get closer to the final, right? There's just the stakes naturally increase. So I think it may be interesting. Of course, it will be. Like, Champions League football is never dull, but I don't think it's going to make a massive difference in terms of the importance of those matches, to be completely honest with you. If anything, it's just more football, right? More football, more money. That's what makes the world go around, man. Cash is king when it comes to football. Cash is king by every single metric. But at the same time, right, if I look at the semi-final leg tomorrow, let me preview that really quickly before I get back onto this game again. AC Milan, Inter Milan, cannot wait for it, man. Cannot wait. I want to see as many people as possible in that stream as well. It's been really good numbers today, man. That's like Champions League numbers, bro. That's like Champions League pool, man. You don't get this stuff in the Premier League, bro. You don't get these kind of numbers. There's like 200, 250 concurrent peak. It was brilliant, man. But yeah, AC Milan, Inter Milan tomorrow. Can't wait for it. You lot know already. Made sure to get it ready as well. Ready for tomorrow, man. Ready for my boy to show up. This boy to show up as well. I need him to turn up big time tomorrow, man. Rafael Leao, do your thing. I've got the shirt ready for tomorrow. I'm wearing that all day tomorrow and for the stream as well, of course. So I cannot wait for that game. And I need Rafael to cook. I got treated today with Vinicius. We all got treated with Vinicius. I want to see Rafael cook tomorrow, man. That's my main thing. Rami, appreciate you, bro. Lukaku gonna eat noodles tomorrow, man. There's something Lukaku's gonna shove his bunda into the backside of every single AC Milan player. But let's see what happens, man. One thing about Inter Milan is they've got this OP tactic where as soon as they cross the halfway line, my man whips in these crosses at left back. It's crazy good. I think Inter Milan are more actual. Let's be real about it. I think they're more systematic team, Inter Milan. But I think AC Milan got the killers in their team. Like they're Rafael Leao's, Mike Maignan in goal. They've got really good players. Do you prefer AC? I'm a neutral, but between the two, I prefer AC Milan just purely because look, I'll be real. I support Arsenal, obviously. I'm not Italian, so I don't really have a horse in the race. It depends on which players I prefer more. That's what team I support, really. Because I don't support either of them. Right now, my favorite player is Rafael Leao from both sides. So I'm supporting AC Milan. Look, obviously, if Inter Milan bought Vinicius Jr., who's one of my Kvara, when Napoli played AC Milan, I'll split because I love Kvara and I love Rafael Leao. So I was saying it as a battle of their left wingers. They're both some of my favorite players. So to be honest, I don't support either team. I'm just like a football shirt collector of good players. I just support. If it's not Arsenal, right, I just support the player. That's genuinely what it is, man. I just want to see good football. So if Inter Milan win tomorrow, so be it, man. I would not hate that one bit. I just want to see good football, man. Good football. I'm neutral. I like both Milan clubs. Ideally, I'd want one of them to win it. Yeah, same. Look, I would love AC Milan to win the Champions League just because of their heritage, just because of the fact that I love clubs like that, man. I love heritage football clubs. And you can say, oh, why don't you want Real Madrid to win it? Real Madrid have won it 14 times, man. Like, I'd rather they win it than Man City. Don't get me wrong, but I'd still love AC Milan to do it, man. For the fact that they've been a sleeping giant. Both Inter Milan and AC Milan have been sleeping giants. 10 Champions Leagues between the Milan clubs. These are no scrubs, man. They know what they're doing. I got AC Milan 2-0 tomorrow. Well, here's the thing, man. It could go that way. And AC Milan are at home, if you believe in such a thing at the San Siro. But let's see, man. Let's see. I cannot wait. My boy Rafael is going to cook tomorrow, man. I hope so. Next week for the second legs, I'm going to warn you guys now, right? My setup will be slightly different. Because I'm going on a field trip with university. These lot mocked it, by the way. You never believe this, yeah? They got us doing presentations at 8 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday. Presentations at 8 p.m. So I'm going to have to be sitting the game. I'm going to have to be doing presentation with the iPad on the background watching the game. I'll be back as soon as possible to do streams, man. As ASA bloody P, bro. I'm not missing out on streams. Even on Fulham and Man City, even if Everton Man City game and Arsenal Brighton game, I will be there no matter what, man. There no matter what. I don't care what this uni throws at me. They can ship me off to Norfolk for all they want, man. I'll be there no matter what. Sorry to spoil it, bro. I'm going for a stinking 0-0 proper Italian style. That would literally be the Italian job right there, man. A 0-0 AC Milan, Inter Milan, grind that 0-0 draw. I don't want that, man. I want goals. To be fair, even Luke today earlier on my Champions League predictions, he went for 1-1. Fair play to him, man. He got it spot on. I said, I want goals, man. I want goals. But I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. Do they not know about Champions League? You know what I mean, man? You know what I mean? Look, Jeff, bro, call him up, man. Tomorrow, we've got a briefing session. I'm going to talk to them tomorrow. I'm going to say, look, it's Champions League, man. This is my job. I'm employed right now. I'm employed by Y Football, man. So you got to make sure that you let me watch these Champions League games. 2-0 AC Milan. I'd love that to be the case, man. Actually, to be fair, I'd rather it actually be like 3-2 or something. I want to make it an interesting and tight game. Just please don't let the tie be decided already. That's what I hope and pray for, man. Don't decide the game in one leg because I've had enough of that in the quarterfinals where the first leg in the game's finished. So I don't care if it finishes 3-2, 1-1, 4-3. I don't care if Inter Milan do it, AC Milan do it. Just don't end the game in one tie. That's all I ask for, man. Make it interesting. That's all I ask for. Bro, who's the home team? Well, technically AC Milan, because AC Milan, Inter Milan in the first leg. But is there really a home team? Let's be real about it. I generally don't know. I think it will be AC Milan because it's right. It's a San Siro day, so like it's there technically the home team. But really, it'll just be like two legs in their own stadium. And the craziest thing is, right, that at the San Siro, I went Milan literally like a month ago. I went Milan. And they've got 4 dressing rooms. They've got a dressing room separately for AC Milan and Inter Milan, an away dressing room and a referee dressing room. So they're going to be using their own dressing rooms. It's literally going to be like both set out like a home game for them. So it'll be crazy interesting. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Those of you that are new around here, 47 people watching right now, still good numbers, man. I appreciate everyone tuning in as always. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Notifications as well. Hit those bell notifications. Champions League streams, you know we don't miss out, man. The quarterfinals were good, but the semifinals were taken up to a next level with the viewing numbers. Next level. So I appreciate everyone tuning in on my road to 2,000 subscribers. On the road to monetization as well, man. Road to monetization. But yeah, that's the main thing. I appreciate the numbers. Why is AC dressing room better? I just personally found it better. When I went to the two, I thought AC Milan dressing room, first of all, their seats were very comfortable. I felt the layout was better as well. They had more of a feng shui layout. That's kind of like what the Emirates does, where it was like a curved layout. Was Inter Milan's one was a bit like more like a box. Do you get what I mean? It's just like a box dressing room. So I personally prefer the AC Milan's one. That's just my personal opinion on it. But Inter Milan had something really special where leading into their dressing room, they had like on the side, it was like a very thin corridor, and on the sides they had players of and like the legends of Inter Milan, like you had Samuel Eto'o, etc., and their shirt number, players like that. And then at the end, they always have two blank ones. And the reason they have that is because for any player that is in the team, they're basically telling them, look, there's a space for you to put your name on there. I thought that was a really cute touch, actually. That was really good from Inter Milan. They had that like it's really good as well. Like even look, every team does it. There's psychology in football before the game even starts. Like when I go to stadium tours, right, you'll see teams try and throw and psyche out the opponent before the game even starts. Arsenal do it. Real Madrid today do it. Look, when you're lining up for the game in Real Madrid, right, all along the walls in the tunnel before you go out the pitch is all of all of Real Madrid's accomplishments. 14 Champions League, X amount of La Ligas, Copa del Rey's, etc. They have it all along the walls. You think that's not trying to psyche out the opponent? There's the little things in football, man. Little things in football. You free tomorrow, brother? Jordan, I can't lie, probably not, man. Probably not. I've got uni all throughout the day, and I just get home in time for the Champions League, which I will be reviewing on this channel. So probably not, man. Isn't that? I can't lie. It's not a good time for me in terms of what's it called, appearances on other channels right now. I've been turned down a lot of people, bro, not just you, just because of how busy it is, like away from football as well. So yeah, every team has a psychological point. Like Anfield with the sign. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Just like Anfield with the sign, man. They put the sign up there for a reason, for an absolute reason, because yeah, this is Anfield. And you can't touch that sign until you won the trophy of Liverpool as well. It's there for an absolute reason, man. Solid stuff. And they try and psych you out instantly. That's why Anfield is such a tough place to go. So the fact Real Madrid won there 5-2, the fact Real Madrid have won 4-0 at the Nou Camp in the second leg of the Copa del Rey, never count this team out, man. Never count this team out. I'm going to end this stream by talking about how I expect the second leg to go. Of course, I'll be here tomorrow for AC Milan, Inter Milan. You don't want to miss that stream either. So in terms of how I expect the second leg to go, right, I still expect Man City to win it. I'm going to go prediction 3-1 Man City. Reason is because I think if it's 2-1 Man City, okay, let me rephrase that, sorry. The only way I can see Man City getting past Real Madrid is if they win by 2+ goals. I can't see them scraping this 2-1 because it will be too tight for Real Madrid not to find a way back into the game. Do you get me? And I think Man City's class will show. I think they're behind their home fans. They've been basically flawless at home this season, especially since the World Cup as well. They haven't lost at home since the World Cup. This team knows what to do in the big games, Man City. If Real Madrid pull it off, fair play, man. They deserve to book their ticket in the Champions League final. But I just personally think Man City will have enough quality to get through. That's just my personal opinion on it. But never count out, my boys. Never count out the Brazilians. Never count out Vinicius. Never count out Modric and Kroos. Never count out Real Madrid, man. Because this team will stand up when you least expect it. This team will pull a result out of absolutely nowhere when you least expect it. So if you're Real Madrid, don't be worried. And they won't be worried. They will be smiling on that football pitch, man. Young, old players smiling on that football pitch. I'm interested to see what Pep Guardiola does next time as well. Does he change it up? Does he go for the same team? He made no subs. So clearly, A, he doesn't trust his bench, or B, he fully trusts the system out there. I want to see what he does. Does he risk it with Riyad Mahrez? Because I can't lie. Riyad Mahrez and Camavinga. Of course, Riyad Mahrez does less defensively and he won't control the game from midfield like Bernardo Silva does. But Riyad Mahrez will be a much trickier customer than Camavinga. I'll tell you that for absolute free. So I'm interested to see what Pep Guardiola runs in that respect. Equally, does Carlo Ancelotti change it up? Does he run the same team or does he change his style? Because we know he's been playing Valverde at right wing some games, for example. It's going to be a tactical masterclass. Two absolute Goliaths facing each other. And let's see, man. Let's see. The football world is watching. We got treated today. I would have liked to see more goals. But I think from anyone that okay, everyone cares about goals in football, but anyone that just doesn't look at the scoreline and looks at the actual game will be thoroughly treated today because this was a tactical masterclass between two teams. This was a war of attrition. This was a 1-1 game that felt like a 3-3 in the respect that how it was played. Like it was played at full intensity. Everything about it, like the crunching challenges, even Kroos with a knee-high challenge on Gundogan, even little things like the rainbow fix from Vinicius. This game had everything in abundance. So I really like it. I want more of the same at the Etihad. If it's anything like the game last year at the Etihad where it was 4-3 Man City, I would love it to be like that, man. Absolutely love it to be like that. But who knows? I appreciate everyone tuning to the stream. As always, if you just tuned in right now and you want to hear my thoughts, scroll right back to the start of the stream so you can hear all about it. 46 people watching right now. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here for football-related content. I cover all types of football teams, man. Those of you that have been here before know how consistent I am. Yesterday, well, I didn't cover yesterday, but the day before, covering double matches, Newcastle, Arsenal, and West Ham United. Day before that, Man City versus Leeds and Liverpool versus Brentford. On the weekend, two matches I'll be covering. I'll be covering the Leeds United, Newcastle United match, and after that, Manchester United Wolves as well as the game tomorrow, of course, AC Milan, Inter Milan. I cannot wait for it. Absolute Goliath match. I appreciate everyone tuning to the stream. Make sure you like down below. If you're watching this now, it's stopped becoming a stream, it's now a video. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the game. I appreciate everyone tuning in as always. Make sure you subscribe if you're new on here to turn on bell notifications. Check out my community tab so you can see my streaming schedule. And also check out my Twitter and Instagram in the description of this video so you can hear all about my thoughts during matches. I'll be my phone. Hope to see you all in my next one tomorrow. Take care.